Not a lot of folks know about the French FRF2 sniping rifle, chambered in 7.62 NATO. It's of course based on an earlier gun that was in 7.5 French. Now the French have not been in a lot of wars, so they haven't seen a lot of use, but they are available on the collector's market.
At the end of World War II, the French were not particularly involved in the sniper rifle business. They had some MAS 36s that they put some scopes on and some other bits and pieces. But it wasn't until 1966 that they decided they needed their own indigenous sniper rifle.
What the French have done is they've taken the MAS 36 receiver, essentially. It's not interchangeable with any MAS 36 rifle out there, but the same basic design concept is there. It's a rear-locking bolt-action rifle. The FRF1 is fed by a detachable box magazine. It's chambered in 7.5 French, and then of course it is modified so that it can accept optics. Well, part of the problem with the FRF1 is it's chambered in 7.5 French. And when France joins NATO, they need to standardize with the NATO cartridge. And that means that the platform, their sniping platform, needs to be chambered in 7.62 NATO. So the FRF2 is developed as late as 1986, if you can believe it, to be the standard sniper rifle of the French armed forces.
They did some things on the gun that are a little unusual. You know, you think about a rifle that has a two-piece stock and forend, right? And so the MAS has a central action, and so you've got the stock, you've got the forend. How do you make such guns accurate? Well, you free float the barrel. If you want accuracy, a free floated barrel is a good way to go. They did some things with the bipod, not mounted to the barrel, not mounted to the forend. It's actually mounted to the steel receiver.
It follows the same pattern as the earlier FRF1. It's got a 10-round detachable box magazine. It's got a unique scope base that's designed to accept one of 5 mounts that are proprietary to the French military. It's still got the signature reducing barrel shroud. It's got a flash suppressor at the muzzle. And other than that, you know, I mean, it's a pretty traditionally styled bolt-action rifle with a wood stock. I mean, it's got a cheek riser, it's got a pistol grip, but functionally, it's still the MAS 36 from pre-World War II. And the French used this rifle as their standard sniping platform until August of 2018, when it's replaced by the SCAR H.
It's an unusual rifle because it's sort of a moment in time. When you think about what was going on for France in that era, they weren't actively at war, but they were dealing with domestic disturbances, they were dealing with terrorism. And you know, the French army, unlike the American army, when it comes to domestic disturbance, the French army gets involved.
The French FR2 has suddenly burst onto the scene, so to speak, through the efforts of Alfred Jedett Navy Arms of West Virginia, who has been able to import a number of them into this country. These are sniper rifles that the French Army has been using since the mid-60s. And, well, frankly, I guess it's a good thing that they haven't really had that much use. With the exception of France's involvement in the Gulf, these guns haven't seen a lot of service. So have they, you know, earned their honors on the battlefield? Have they shown their mettle under combat conditions? Not quite, but they have Schmidt and Bender scopes. And you know, both models, the FR1 and the FR2, seem to be a quite effective sniper rifle.
It's not like an Accuracy International. It's not like the M40, A1 through A5. It's not like the M24 from the U.S. military. It's just a gun that does not turn up very often. That said, it's not only a gun that was used in the War on Terror, but it's kind of a vestige from the Cold War. The interesting thing for me about the gun is, there were a lot of ways to mount scopes onto rifles. And they kind of came up with their own proprietary system. And the scope mount is pretty solid. It's actually very repeatable. Once you understand how it works, you can mount the scope pretty easily. You can take the scope off, you can put the scope on. They shoot very well. It's got enough barrel on it that, when you take it out, 400 or 500 yards, yeah, this gun will shoot. It will absolutely shoot.